Hello, everyone. I'm Ross Harling. And you're?
I'm Claire Cunningham. And we're from Paint Zero.
Right. I want to say how pleased Claire and I have been to be part of the Amazon Sustainability Accelerator. We've learned an awful lot in the past 10 or 12 weeks. It's been a fantastic experience. And like John said, the team supporting the Amazon Accelerator team have been fantastic as well. Sustainability is really important to me personally. I'm genuinely concerned that if we don't try and cut resources, if we don't try and trim the amount of pollution we create in this planet, then my grandchildren and yours are not going to know what it's like to breathe clean air and swim in safe seas. So why didn't I think about doing something about paint? Well, probably most of you don't know that paint, second to making petroleum, is the most polluting industry in the world. And it not only emits millions of tons of greenhouse gases, it uses up 2% of the world's fossil fuels every single year, and it consumes a lot of energy and water. And as an industry, it's absolutely vast now. So this is just decorating paint for our homes, our offices, and our schools that our children go to. It's a $100 billion business. And that number's fairly meaningless unless you translate it into the fact that every year on all these production lines around the world, there's 10 billion pots of paint coming off those production lines. 10 billion. That's enough paint to circle the Earth in a 1 meter strip 600 times. That's how vast it is. It's more people than there are on the planet. And we do that every year, which means 10 billion of those containers, those single-use throwaway containers, have got to be got rid of in landfill or through incineration. So it's a massive problem from raw materials through to what we do with it when it's finished sitting in our garages or sheds. And in order to understand how we've taken the approach here, you need to think about what's inside those tins you bought from home-based B&Q or wherever you are. For a start, 30% of it is petrochemicals and petrochemical polymers, plastic polymers. And they're the particles that when you wash them down the sink and into the drains and rivers, they're now forming 50% of ocean microplastics. Those are being eaten by fish and coming back into our food chain. And what's more, the toxins like formaldehyde, antifreeze, PFAs are being put in there not only to really extend the life of the paint from the retail to you. And 40% of it in a decorating paint is simply water. That's heavy and costly to transport. It means you're paying for the delivery of a product when almost half of what is there is available to you in your home. And that single-use packaging leaves you with a problem and leaves your local authority with a problem as well, because it's treated as hazardous waste, which means expensive disposal. So these are the kind of things we had to think about when creating Paint Zero. So what's the first difference you notice? It doesn't come to you in a tin. It comes to you in a paper pouch, because what we've made is a paint concentrate. Just like you buy shampoo concentrates and detergent concentrates, this is a paint concentrate. And what we ask you to do is add your tap water, the stuff you've already got at home, to this. And from that 750 grams, you can make up a full 2.5 liters of rich, creamy emulsion paint in scores of colors, ready to use in 90 seconds. So we're trying to change the paradigm of paint, but that requires a change of thinking as well. What we've done is replace the petrochemicals with a combination, patent-pending combination of plant extracts, natural minerals, and salts. So it's completely non-toxic and non-hazardous. If you paint your child's bedroom, it's perfectly safe for them to sleep in it the same night. There's no toxic fumes, there's no off-gassing, and it will be dry in a couple of hours. So we're trying to think through that from the end to end. From a weight point of view, this is a quarter the weight of a tin of liquid paint. So it's ideal for e-commerce companies like Amazon. It's safe to send, it's not classified as a hazardous product, and when you finish using it, if you've only painted one wall, you can reseal the pack and keep it for up to 5 years, or if you finish the job, all of the wastes, whether they're wet or dry, including the packaging, will biocompost with your garden compost or with household waste. So we're trying to rechange the paint industry from end to end. And that means changing people's attitudes away from a very convenient, instant use product into something where you have to participate. You have to be part of the product journey to make sure that you're cutting CO2 from liquid paint by 80% when it leaves their factory, and another 90% by the time you finish your job. A massive saving in climate change, climate gas avoidance. So let me just summarize briefly. No fossil fuels, ultra low carbon, sustainable and economical, and not just economical because we're selling this at a competitive price with other mainstream brands, but also because the life of the product is up to 5 years when it's resealed in the pouch. So you can use what you need and give the remainder to a friend. We've got a lot of further innovations coming down, particularly concentrating on indoor air quality and family health, things to reduce mildew-seed bacteria. And we're working with a leading research centre. We're licensing our product openly to scores of countries across the world where paint toxins, even like lead and heavy metals, are still legal in paint, and it's harming up to 1/3 of the world's children. And from an investor point of view, we'll be EIS and research and development compatible. Claire.
Paint Zero is led by a team of experts. My background in eco-design and sustainability has already allowed me to bring a number of bio-based products to market. Ross Harling, who you've just heard from, is an award-winning inventor with multiple patents to his name. We're also supported by leading academics, both in bioscience and psychology, because we understand that we need to improve both our product, but also help people change their behaviour when they become our customers. Our initial target market is the European market. This is a market worth 20.3 billion euros. And we know our market really well. We know that people buy in different ways, and we know that we need to tailor our marketing so that we can access those territories. So with that initial European market, we're asking for 3 million investment. This will allow us to scale up our UK production, establish a partner production in the EU, and also to hit those tailored marketing plans that we have. Our target revenue in just 3 years is 26.7 million euros, with a target PBIT of 8 million euros. And by 2029, we're going to hit 48.6 million euros in revenue. We invite you to join Paint Zero at this critical part of our journey.
We want to offer you an option with Paint Zero, thinking about my grandchildren and yours. We want you to think about whether you're picking up a 4-litre tin of product of petrochemicals and toxins and putting it out on your walls, or whether you want a safe and sustainable option. Most people will go for the easy, quick solution. It's convenient, fantastically powerful product, and changing behavior we recognize is a really difficult problem. But we want to give people that choice, and as many people as we can to have that choice. So thank you for your attention.